Hi everyone. Hello, welcome. I see that many of you are coming. We're 52 people right now. That's very exciting. So you're seeing Ece from Scrintal and Bianca. And you know me for like I've been in every Scrintal video. And in the background, there's our CTO Furkan and one of our senior developers, Arsen, helping us with the technical stuff. And Bianca, maybe you would like to introduce yourself because many of the people from the community know you, but I'm sure some do not.
Well, thanks a lot, Edgy, for inviting me to be here. So I'm really excited. For who doesn't know me, my name is Bianca Pereira, and I am proud to be the second ever user of Scrintal. I still want to know who is the first one. And I could see Scrintal coming from a drawing, literally a drawing, into coming to the launch today. So it was really nice to see the whole process. And in the beginning, I was like, well, let's see how the app is. It was still a drawing. And then it grew and grew and grew. And I was like, um, at some point, I was like, okay, I see myself using it every day. And nowadays, I use every day. So I am a personal knowledge management coach and consultant, which means like I teach people how can they organize their own knowledge. And I'm Scrintal user number 2, so I'm really happy to be here today. And I was thinking today is a party, right? So
Yeah,
let's
exactly.
have some balloons, so to celebrate the party here today. So thanks a lot for having me here
Of
today.
course, thanks a lot for coming. So today, actually, we're celebrating our new Canvas experience, Playground for the Mind, going live. And if you're an existing user, you realize that you were able to use Playground for the Mind since last week. It's been 1 week that we opened it up to our existing users. But still, it's a quite new experience. We started even imagining this new Canvas version in January 24, so it's very new. That's why I wanted to give you a quick introduction about what it is and also a personal story from the company. I would love to walk you through our company history because I and Furkan, my co-founder, our CTO, started this company, but we never thought of being entrepreneurs. I was a researcher, so I want to give you the background of that so you understand the product thesis behind Scrintal further, I think. And after the quick intro, I will walk you through the very basics of this new Canvas experience. I will basically show you the building blocks of this experience. And then I will head over to Bianca. She will show more expert tips and a deep dive. And Furkan is also watching the chat live, and he will raise his hand up if there are some questions. We will make sure to spend some time in live Q&A. And today also we are live on Product Hunt. So if you have any feedback, any comments, if you want to support us, please go there and we would love to hear any feedback coming from you. But let's start. And it's so exciting to see that everyone is saying hi, they're writing their names, and it's people all over the world. So we are joining from Stockholm, Sweden, and Bianca is joining from Ireland. So let's go. And the first thing I want to tell you is what is Scrintal is the question I get the most. And it has been a big challenge for myself personally and for the team to describe Scrintal to our friends and family, especially different generations. And this is our last version. Like we say that Scrintal is a visual space. We don't call ourselves a note-taking tool. Yes, you can write notes here. Yes, you can do even long-form writing, but we place ourselves in the more visual space because we start everything from this 2D interface. And the unique value proposition of this new canvas is that you can shape your ideas with blocks, one block at a time. And for us, if you say, what does it mean to shape your idea? To me, shaping your ideas is to go from your random ideas to whatever end product you want to produce. So it can be like, I imagine that you come to Scrintal thinking that you want to create a 20-minute speech and you're very confused about where to start, right? So you come here with all your ideas, with all your sources, and just dump them on our boards. And then block by block, you go to your 20-minute speech. So that's the use case that we want to help out the most actually in Scrintal. And you realize that like we call the new version playground for the mind often. And like there is a reason for that because we wanted to build the most enjoyable way to go from idea to insight. That's why we wanted to make this app as fun as possible and build it on blocks, just like Legos, so that you can play with your knowledge. That's the whole idea behind. And let me share our product thesis a little bit. So Bianca was the first user actually to call Scrintal a sense-making tool. And that really resonated with the rest of the team. And with this product, what we want to achieve is to create the product that you can use to understand, to make sense. And we really sit back with the team and we thought about, okay, how does a human understand information? And we came up with this loop, that this loop is needed for humans to make sense of any information. The first step is to ideate. You have to be free. You need a space to ideate, to be free, bring any sources that you need. And then secondly, in order to understand something, you need to break down the information into different pieces. So if it's a long chapter, you need to take out the bits that you want to understand, right? And then thirdly, you need to structure. You need to structure your own understanding and your own information. So this was the three main pillars that we wanted to achieve in the tool. And then last but not least, we want the user to be able to reuse anything that they create and also share anything that they create, because we think that's very important. If you cannot reuse and if you cannot share it with outsiders, you're not really fulfilling the flow. So this was our idea. And then in the walkthrough, I'm going to show you how we are achieving each one of these pillars. But now, let's pause a little bit and go back to the story of Scrintal, like how we started. So it all started during my PhD times. So this is me. This is like the day that I wrote, we published my thesis actually. So I graduated from Stockholm University. And in Stockholm, there is this tradition. When you finish your thesis, you nail it to a piece of wood. So you can see that my thesis is nailed. And the whole process started when I was writing my thesis, basically. In order to write one chapter, I was reading hundreds of articles, and I really felt that a lot of different ideas from these different sources were becoming like colorful threads, and I was trying to wave a carpet. That's what it felt like to me to write a thesis. And those were the times I was thinking, in order for me to do this creative process, I need a space that lets me be as visual as I want, as creative as I want, and then I want to be able to structure this information. So it was a very vague idea still when I was writing my thesis. Only after I paired up with our CTO, with Furkan, that we started turning this into a space. And I would like to show you the whole team, because you often see me because I'm okay with being on camera, but not every team member is like that, right? But there is a whole team behind Scrintal, and we are mostly based in Stockholm, but some of us are based in Austria, Finland, and Netherlands. So here, if you go to our website, you will see these pictures as well. This is my co-founder, Furkan, and Ersin is our first engineer. So it was Furkan and Ersin building the tool. And we are all from Turkey, but we all live in Sweden. And we are all friends from the university, so that's how we met. And then the rest of the team is we're in total 8 people. So we have Diana, she lives in Helsinki. We have Philip, he's Austrian. He's our like only designer. So everything you see from website to social media posts to the app itself is designed by him. So he has so much on his shoulders actually. And then there's Philip. He lives in Gotland, in a small island in Sweden. He's the other senior developer that we have. And then finally, last but not least, we have Bengisu, who lives in Netherlands. She is the data guru. She's looking at how users are interacting with our app. She's trying to understand what are the features that they love the most, and what is working, what is not working. And Matthias recently joined us. He's our head of product, and he joined in January. And right after he joined, we decided to go for a new Canvas experience. Okay, but I guess this is basically our story. And I would love to just start with the basics a little bit and show you like the building blocks of Scrintal. So let's go here, and then I'm gonna show you a lot of different flows and also some templates. So if you realize in Scrintal, we have this new toolbar. So it used to be like right on the left-hand side, but now it's on the bottom. So with the new toolbar, you can start from the templates as well, if you don't want to start from the blank page. But let's start from the basics. So now in Scrintal, when you double click on anything, you create a block. So this is a novelty that we brought that didn't exist in a previous version of Scrintal. Now we start everything from temporary. So blocks are like temporary elements. They exist only on the board that they are created. But the interesting part here is that they are very powerful text editors. So this is not just a post-it note. You can write anything, you can embed anything here, just like you were able to work with documents. So now let's paste a long text. You can paste anything, as I said, you can embed any multimedia. And if you want to try Scrintal, if you're a new user, you can go to our product homepage and you will get a 7-day trial. And it is only for today. So I suggest if you're new, start trying Scrintal today. And so mostly our users are working with text-heavy things. And as this is a block-based editor, you can see that I can highlight each of these blocks and I can just move them out. So the interesting part here is that usually the use cases I have long documents, long writings, or there's so many things that I need to understand and read, and I just want to take out the important bits out of them. So the block-based editor lets you do that. Secondly, you can just merge these blocks in the way that you want, and merging helps you bring things together. And until now, everything was temporary. When you feel that, okay, now this was a good idea, I want to keep it. Like I want to turn this into a document so it stays in my library. Then with one click, you can turn things into document. So we wanted to bring this block-based temporary text editor, but make it very easy to turn things into documents. That was the initial thing we wanted to do. And let's rename this document. So I'm just showing the basics here, which it can be maybe you are much more advanced, but I'm sure there's so many users that are new to Scrintal. And with documents, you can see that you can easily change how they look and you can change their color. So those are very basic things. But I would love to go to actually a flow of what I've seen many users are doing in Scrintal. And what I see is that they usually want to bring out their sources and information and understand that and go to an end product by themselves. So I'm going to show you one of those flow examples actually. That this is dummy data, but it is from one of our users. So here, our user actually his job to be done was to create a sales report because he was a salesperson and he wanted to understand the current sales process in his organization and come up with a new one. So for that, what he did in the beginning was just bring out all information he has about the current sales process they had. So for example, he brought PDFs, just like drag and drop them on the canvas, because right now you can do that. And he brought like all these notes, and bringing notes can be as easy as importing your Markdown archive, or you can write them by yourself as well. And secondly, in the second step, this person was interviewing many people. So what he chose to do was he created a document per each person that he interviewed and just laid them on the canvas, just like you can see. And what you get out of this layout is that you get to see your information in an overview. So this gives you an overview effect. Rather than going from one linear doc to the next and changing the pages, you can see all of them in one space. And then after you have all your notes and your information, what they were doing was simply taking out things, like taking out the different blocks and doing like using this free space to do some brainstorming. Because that's what we wanted to do in Scrintal, whether it's like multiple blocks or whether it's a document, you should be able to extract everything and merge everything. That was the main idea that we have. So here, like you can see that you can use some arrows, you can use a lot of colors. So we have some new visual elements that we didn't have in old version of Scrintal. And then finally here, you can see that this person was going to their end product, which was creating a new sales draft. And here, like Bianca will explain this in more detail, that they were even able to give links to other documents that are in the system. And I'm not giving into detail about like how to do that. I'm sure Bianca will show it. But this is like just one of the typical flows that we have of how users are using the new Canvas experience. And I'm looking at the comments. There are many comments actually. Okay, but yeah, so now like I'm gonna show you a couple of the templates because I showed you a very text-heavy use case, and you have a lot of templates here that you can use for more visual use cases. So let's go here. So, and like before we go on, I want to thank like all the everyone that we worked with here because Bianca gave a lot of feedback, and we worked with many people that you can see their work in our learning center actually. Like they recorded use case videos, they recorded tutorials for us. So I highly suggest that you go to our learning center when you start trying Scrintal. Our learning center is both on YouTube and on the app. So I thank everyone very much who created content for us. So here, yeah, I'm showing like one of the templates, and the reason I'm showing this is to show you how flexible you can use Scrintal. Just using the arrows and blocks, you can build very powerful templates. And the nice thing here is, even though you can go as visual as you want, if you want to select anything and turn things into a document, you can easily do that. So that was the main idea behind here. And this was like the monthly template, like monthly planner template. And this one, for example, is a prioritization matrix that you see in many like other visual tools. We just wanted to bring the flexibility that you can use Scrintal just like a visual tool, but if you want to build your library, you can do that as well. And we have a lot of, you can use Scrintal to create Kanban boards. And the interesting part of like creating Kanban boards in Scrintal will be that these tasks whenever like you create them will actually live in your archive so that you get to reuse them and just like bring them from your library with one drag and drop. But I think I'm gonna stop there. Thank you very much for all the comments. You can, as I mentioned, like go to our YouTube channel, watch like what does it mean to use blogs? What's the difference between blogs versus docs by Morgan and Santiago. They did an amazing job. And I'm gonna head over to Bianca for her expert tips.
Thanks a lot, Ed. For today, I just brought two use cases. So the first use case is from a 2-hour workshop that I run with my clients. And the second one is one that I'm currently using. But before I go to that, would like to learn a little bit more about everyone who is here. I was looking at the chat. So I want to learn if this use case resonate with you, because I don't want to be boring you, okay? So let me know, just put a +1 in the chat so I'll be able to see if this resonates with you, okay? Until, I don't know, high school, it's very common when you want to learn something new, the teacher just say, okay, read this textbook and there is everything that we need to know. As the life goes on, either if you go to the university or if you go for work or you just want to learn things as a hobby, we need to be looking to multiple sources, a little bit like you showed, Ed, like there are multiple reports that I need to extract information, make sense of that, or I need to learn a new thing, or I need to know a new trend for my job. So I just let me know if that's something that you face on a regular basis. You need to learn about something, and there is not just one source where you can learn everything. You need to be piecing things together from multiple places as well. Okay, so let me know in the chat. Just put a +1, so just for me to have an idea how many people face this type of problem, to see how deep we go into that. Okay, so I can see Janice, let's put 1 there. That's good. Okay, so just let me know. And Nikki, +1, that's great. Okay, nice. I feel many more +1s coming up. Yes. Okay. Perfect. Okay, so that's the use case that I brought here today. First, I want to show how it usually works if you don't have a board, okay? In classical tools, text-based, text-heavy tools. So I'll just share my screen now. So today, I'm using the browser version, okay, of Scrintal. There's an app. I use the app, and here today I'm using the browser version. Usually, how would you do that use case? Maybe create a note somewhere, a document somewhere, say, well, this is my project. I want to learn, let's say, what is personal knowledge management. So I go around, I search for a few sources, and I have the link. And then I go into each source. Maybe I'll read them. I'll take notes. Another source reads, take notes, another source. And then there'll be just source everywhere. I'll be like, oh, okay, now I have like many things and I need to be jumping from source to source, from screen to screen. Here in Scrintal, we still have the benefit of when you are in a text file, another text file appear on the side. But in many places, you don't even have that. You need to be like changing from notes to notes. It's like, okay, how can I make sense of, I don't know, 7 sources? And in some cases, like Ed, you say, sometimes there are 100 sources, okay? So what I want to show today, how I can use Scrintal is a very simple thing that I do. It's just a 2-hour workshop. So I just want to show you the steps. We'll not do everything here, okay? But I want to invite you, if you already have Scrintal, as soon as we finish today, just watch again the video and try it out with your own source. And if you don't have Scrintal, as Ed said, just go to the Product Hunt page, and Furkan, please put the link again in the chat, and get your 7-day trial and test it out and see, does it work? Is something that it works for you, okay? So how can you get started? I have created a board, okay? The new playground for the mind. And then how do we start? We start by collecting our source, okay? What are the sources that I have? And each source is a document. I keep them separated, okay? And indeed, for this case, I just got some information, bibliography, and I just got, let's say, a paragraph for each one, okay? This is the content. Let's make sense from that source. What is PKM? What's personal knowledge management? What those different sources mean by personal knowledge management? And as you make sense of that, usually when I'm reading a source, I'm totally focused on it. So I just come and I open it and I only focus on the source. So let me try to extract what are the ideas that the person will say. Well, PKM manages information, PKM makes life enjoyable, supports maintaining networks, contacts, and communities, and so on. So as I'm reading one source, I'm focused only on that source. Of course, these are just like bullet points, but if you're really taking notes, you may go like more full text and all those things. As I said, this is just an example. I read my different source. Now it's time to make sense of them together. So what can you do from that? With the new playground for the mind, if you just come into the ideas that you have and you enable one of the experimental things, what you do, you just take a block, as I just said, everything is a block, take a block and you move into the board, okay? And as I have one of the experimental features available, it automatically creates a link to say, where did this come from, okay? Where did this idea come from? So I free up an idea from this document, okay? I can even close here now, but I still keep track from where this idea come from, okay? So what I can do from all those sources, I just take the ideas out and now the board becomes a place where I can make sense of them, okay? So here, I just free up the ideas from the original context, but I still keep the link, okay? Now I have all those things to make sense of, okay? How can I start making sense of it? As everything was structured with the same question in mind, one thing that you can do is start organizing them. What is similar to what? Okay. So, for example, here in this source, they say PKM or personal knowledge management is a conceptual framework. And in this source, they also say that PKM is a framework. So they are the same thing. So let's move them together. So how can we do that? As everything is a block, and block now can become stacks. So I can just come and make them part of the same group. So I can move them together in space, okay? So we start moving things around based on their similarity, okay? And we can end up with something like this. I'll just decrease the zoom a bit so you can just have an overview, okay? And why it has colors now? I don't need to create colors because I say I have the link to the source, but I also can use the colors to identify where did this come from, okay? So if I go back to the beginning, if I have, say, okay, this source is red, then everything that came from that source is also that type of red. So when I move things around, I can see where its source is going, okay? That's not needed, but I find nice to see, well, is a group just composed just one source saying that thing, or actually there are multiple sources? So I start a group based on similarity. So now I have things in space. I use the space. The space represents something, represents similarity in this case. If two things are kind of similar, they are closer in space. If they are different, they are far from each other in space. But now that I have those groups, what do they mean? Okay, what are those things? Okay, that's when we start making sense. That's why I said to Edge, for me, Scrintal is a tool for sense making. It's like making sense of information, making sense of my thoughts, make sense of what I come across in a way that becomes coherent. Okay, so let's go. Next step. What will be the next step? For each group, we identify what is that group about? Okay, what makes that to be a group? So I can say, well, here, let's just zoom in again. Okay, they're all saying that PKM is a process. Okay, PKM is a disciplined process. PKM is an interactive process, a continuous process, or is a process. Or here they say it's a framework, or here PKM is a practice. Or here they are demonstrated that organization is a PKM step. And there we go, organizing all the groups, okay? Now that I have groups, what else can I do, okay? Now let's try to organize them. How can we group the groups? Okay. And rather than creating stacks, now I can start to create connections, visual connections. They only exist in the board. They only exist while I'm trying to make sense of the information. And how can I do that? I just come here down, I click in connector, I drag and drop, okay? And then I can decide, well, maybe I want this group here, okay, to be linked to a group or to something else. Maybe I just double click and I say, well, these are PKM steps, okay? So the group of groups is actually these PKM steps. So I just come now, I take this, and now they link to each other, okay? So I have a link between PKM steps and knowledge expansion with a PKM step, okay? Just as an example. So here is how the result will look like. Just let me remove this, yeah. So, okay, so that I group the groups. We have PKM steps, we have types of PKM data. I'm making sense of the information. PKM definition, the different types of what people define as PKM, and this kind of related to that. Those are all benefits of PKM, and all of those relate to PKM. So here I create a visual structure that now, what before was just like information all over the place, now we have a hierarchy that gives coherence to all those pieces of information, something that we can look and understand, okay? And we can only do that because we have the visual elements and we have the space itself, okay? If it's just a text node to be like up and down, try to organize groups, put headers and go up and down again, and it's not a good thing, okay? We didn't finish here, okay? Because at the moment, it's just pieces of information in the board. But now, for example, PKM deals with knowledge. This is one idea. Okay, this is something I can talk about. I can describe what it means. What do those authors say about that? Okay, or organization of PKM step. What do I mean by that? So all those things are ideas. So I can create what I like to call the idea node. So each node or each document is about an idea. And how can we do that? We can select everything and can create a document from that. So now this document exists inside this board, but also outside of the board. So I can use it somewhere else. I can use to create a report somewhere else, or I can open this alone. Okay, I can just come here. And now let's think about this idea. Okay. And that's the benefit of now having something not just in the board as a visual element, but now it persists beyond the board, okay? And that's the next step. How can we convert everything into what I like to call idea nodes, okay? And keep a little bit of those links, which are still visual at the moment, okay? Now what I have, in each idea node, I have pieces of information, okay? There's still there's just like, okay, some pieces with the link to the source. And now that now we have this overview, now it's time to zoom in again, okay? After creating those idea nodes, let's go into each node and reflect on them, okay? I'll show an example here. For example, PKM as a process. Now I can start to describe and think. I can say some authors define PKM as a process. Yeah. And then I have my sources already. Who defines? I'm saying some authors, but who? Okay. Then I can just have those things. I can say hierarchy. Okay. And then put the other links here because those are actual links. So when I come here, totally separated from everything that I have done, I can say PKM as a process. And when I link, I say, who said that? And I have the link direct to the source. So even when I move the ideas around, I changed everything, I keep the link to the original source, okay? So I can maybe look for more information there, maybe just like mention, okay, this is the place where I got it from, I'm not inventing, okay? So we can just start organizing our notes and have then something like this. We have, for example, PKM as a process, different authors. Some authors go even further. Some say it's a disciplined process, an interactive process, a continuous process, and I can go and reflect more on those ideas, okay? Another thing that we can do now in Scrintal is the idea of embedding, okay, a document inside of another one. That's what I did here with benefits of PKM. I say, well, I may not want to think about this right now. So what I want to do, I'll just create a document. I will say that's the benefits, okay? And I will zoom in because I'm pretty sure you cannot read what I'm writing because even I almost can't read because I was zoomed out just so we could see everything, okay? So we have here benefits, which is the title. And I say, well, this is one of the benefits. So I just come here and I move it inside. And when I move it inside, I have embedded. So I can see the content of the document or I can compact it like that, okay? So that's something we can have here. So at the end of my journey, what I have done, everything are documents, and I start to link them as well. So this PKM one is where I could either embed everything or I started to create links. So I say, well, personal knowledge management is this, according to this is my own definition. It appears associated with multiple benefits, and these benefits is a link to this document here that we created here, benefits of PKM. In the literature, it appears under different definitions, and I say as a process, which is exactly this document here, as a framework, exactly that document, okay? And then I create here what would be, let's say, could be my report of what PKM is. I call them my notes because they're still for me. They're my thoughts, my reflections, okay? And then the last step was like, okay, but what if I want to actually write something for someone else? How can I go from all this to write something for someone else? And that's where, at a later moment, even in a different board, I can just start putting the ideas together here. I can open the PKM document, put it here and say, what do I want to talk about? Let me write my outline. So this is really a stack. I just started putting things here. Well, I want to talk, despite the multiple benefits associated to PKM, so, I have a note about the benefits. So let's put it here. I can open to see the benefits as I'm writing that report. So this is just really, what is the outline of ideas that I want to talk about and my notes already with my source. And then I can use these as the outline to actually write that report. So that's the use case that I came to show to you today. One of them, okay? So let me know if it was any useful. And as I say, if you really want to try, if you have a Scrintal, as soon as you finish this, you'll get the recording, just go step by step, doing by yourself and see how it feels and let us know how it goes. And if you don't have Scrintal yet, go to the product hunt page. It's only for today, so if you are watching this later, I'm sorry. Go to the product hunt page and get your 7-day of free trial and let me know how it goes as well, okay? So that's one of my use cases I want to pass to you. Edgy, I have another use case, so I don't know if you have time, so just let me know where you go from here.
I think we have time, Bianca. I think we're really enjoying. So we can go through the other use case and then we can answer some of the questions. And I can tell a bit about like what will be the next things we will be building in Scrintal later on.
Okay. So yeah, my second use case is less exciting, although it's very exciting for me because I'm actually doing it. One of the main challenges that I see most people have is actually with getting started, taking notes, or I don't say like taking notes, but like expressing ourselves, okay? It's very common that we just highlight, copy paste, quote, but it's really hard. I see like there is a lot of like inner critic, that voice that say, no, you're saying it's wrong or stuff like that. And it's really hard to express ourselves, okay? So I created a challenge, 100 days of notes taking. And the idea is just like, can we write for 100 days, 10 minutes a day? And each day I provide a prompt, okay? A prompt and a method for notes taking to stop that inner voice and get us to just write our thoughts. Later on, we organize, we do all those nice stuff, but how can we, first of all, write our own knowledge down? Because our knowledge, our real knowledge, only exists inside of our minds and bodies, okay? Our sources were written by someone, they were thoughts expressed by someone else. But if you want our knowledge to be somewhere, to be in what I call a knowledge portfolio that you can just go and show someone, we need to express. So the 100 days is about that, but I'm the one creating the prompts. So I was like, how can I do that? Okay. So that's the board. I just create a board really. And the main purpose for this board is to have an overview. So what I have done, I say, well, I want the 100 days to be based on a few days on each different themes because I want people to think in different ways or develop kind of some skills. Okay. And then I started creating stacks, just like writing the titles of what could be each theme. Sorry, I'm pronouncing wrong. Each theme. And then I say, well, each one will have 5 days. Of course, it increases. For example, this one has more. And this is the one that we are currently going. Okay, this is my other account, so it appears unknown. And what I do, sometimes I have an idea, I jot them down here as possible prompts, I move them around. And even now, let's say the next theme that I was planning to do for day 26 will be taking a break and tuning in. But actually now I want to change, so I can just come here, move things around. I want it to be learning from daily life. I think it's the best one by how people are reacting to the prompts. And then every time I come, I start writing what the prompts that I want. And then I insert a dot. Sorry, let me zoom in so you can actually see what I'm writing here. Okay. So I just come here, insert document, days, and I would say 100 days, day 26, and then I'll start writing everything. Okay. And I have organized in a way that I say each one of those later becomes, when I finish writing all of those, I convert these into a document, which become a module, okay? And then those modules also become part of something bigger here. So I have here the list of all the modules, the link to the board itself, each one of the modules, and I can just come here. It will not appear because in my other account, I'm just sharing with this account. So some links will not appear, that's how it should be. Because you define what you want to share from another person. I didn't share everything, I just shared this board. And then if I am somewhere else, I just want to look at it as like, okay, 100 days, just come here. I say 100 days, and then it will appear here. And I just open the board, or I open this one here. So yeah, I just created this board to give me an overview and keep me organized. It's more like as a way, I like to think of boards as a way to keep context. So say I'm working on a project, what is everything I need for that project? Create a board for everything, okay? And even if you have sub-projects, let's say I have pieces of a project inside of a project, you can have a board for each piece, and then from the big one, you go to the piece, and then you always have everything you need for that task, that project in that particular board. So yeah, that was the second use case. I have even reflections on, like some reflections where the prompts come from. They come here, and this is actually a product that I had before, 30-day active note-taking challenge. Sometimes I say, well, I want to get some inspiration from here, or I want to purposefully not write a prompt that I have written before. So I come here and I say unknown documents because I didn't share the document with this account because I have two accounts. This is my teaching and consulting account, and I have the other personal, where this actually is used on a daily basis. So that's it from me. So I would be happy to discuss and have a chat with everyone, or answer any questions if you need.
Thank you so much, Bianca, for an amazing like demonstration. I did write down some of the questions that I saw actually, and some like feature requests. And I would like to like now take a time to answer what will be the next things we will be developing as a team actually. And I would love to hear, like, I know you've been writing, so I was able to see some of the requests. But what is one thing that is very important to you? If you can write it in the chat, I would love that. One thing that grabbed my attention was someone wrote ability to extract the blocks and have a link to the source. And that has been something we taught a lot about. That our idea was whenever you extract, especially a block from a doc, that that block should have a link, a logical link back to that doc. And we had long discussions at the office about that. And like, one of the next things we will bring, we're thinking, will be the logical links actually, and how we can show that on the boards. Because right now we have the connectors and they are visual arrows. We opted for the simplicity and visuality here. You can still do the logical links in Scrintal, as you saw in Bianca's use case, but we are not showing the arrows just like we did before. And like that's something we will work on and think a lot. And during that time, I think we will do a lot of user interviews as well. So if you'd like to join those user interviews, we would love that. So join our community so that we can develop that feature together. And like the other things I'm hearing the most is everyone wants to like bring data in to Scrintal. We have many requests about integrations. How can we bring our whole archive? It's not just like one-time import. Will there be read-wise integrations? So we like our plan is to expand the platform with integrations actually. That will totally come. That's what I see. And then like I'm also like apart from bringing data in and the logical links, we hear the different sharing options quite a lot. So like it's not just about the export, but sometimes you create a board and you're very proud of what you created. So we hear that like some people are asking for the publish option to come back for version 2 boards, for our new boards, and different ways of sharing information with Scrintal. So I hear that quite a lot as well. So bringing in information, the logical links, and different ways of sharing information will be the things that we will be thinking about the most, and we will be like working with our community the most. And I would love to answer, like, Bianca, if you have some questions or if I'm hearing anything here. What else? I guess, like, yeah, mobile app, that has been a question that's coming quite a lot. And the challenge there is, like, we would love to actually bring a mobile app. We're only 3 developers right now. So we are 8, but like 3 of us and sometimes like 4 of us are able to like code. So we have a quite small team. That's why that kind of holds us back. Yeah, like I'm hearing a lot of other things. And how about you, Bianca? Like when you look at the new version of the words, what's the one thing that you wish for?
The links, visualizing automatically the links, the logical links.
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
which I know is a challenge because now we can even have the same card multiple times in the board. So for the
Hmm.
technical part, I'm like, oh, that would be that would be an interesting challenge. But that's one that's for me is like one because I use case that I use on a daily basis
Hmm.
is the idea of like I take one document and I start breaking down into ideas. Okay, here I just show like bullet points, but usually I have like a full text, a huge text, and I'm extracting pieces
Hmm.
and I'm automatically connecting them through logical links. So I want to, and what I use, like I don't want to worry about losing those links because I just create the links and let them be. And it's nice when the board hold the context, which the new board already does that. So already hold that context for me. But then when I finish, I want to see how are all those ideas already linked. That's what I still don't have the version 2. So I'm really looking forward for what's uh coming soon. So yeah, that would be my main one. I'm like, I need it.
Yeah, and then we hear like apart from these like bringing in data and like taking out data in an interesting way, we hear the custom-made templates quite a lot because everyone has different workflows and everyone has a style of working. So I hear that I wish I was able to create my own templates, and that's quite a low-hanging fruit for us actually. So I see that coming in the near future as well. But I can tell you that like already in Scrintal, you can work collaboratively. And later on, not right now, but we want to expand on that collaboration suite as well. So like our like long-term vision is to make Scrintal like the place that you shape the ideas in a very easy and fun way, and you are proud to share those ideas using Scrintal's publish functionality or whatever we will call it in the future. So that's the long-term vision that we want to go. That if you are confused, you come to Scrintal and you create your own information, and then you're ready to share it with other people in a very good looking way and in a non-linear way is where we want to go. Really. And yeah, we are yeah, hearing a lot. And today I just want to like one last time maybe say like thank you to everyone who both like joined. And also there like we have like a lot, like we have Ronaldo here. He's also live streaming like our stream right now in his channel. And like a lot of people helped us to create like new videos about Scrintal, because when you make such a big change, we had to change everything. We had to change the whole FAQs and all the videos, and it was a lot of work for us. So we got help from Minnie. So thank you very much for that, actually. And yeah, last but not least, I guess if you have further questions, I'm not like reading any more feature requests. I suggest we take it to like both our community, and also if you have like some comments and feedback, please go to our product hunt page so that you both support us and also like share your feedback. We're very much looking forward to that, actually. And if you haven't watched already, we made a product film where the whole team acted. So I thank my team so much for jumping on that crazy idea and actually act in a movie. So please watch our movie and go to our channel. We would love that. Thank you, I guess. Any more like last comments from you, Bianca?
Yeah, actually, I would like to leave with a question for
Yeah.
everyone who is here today. What's the next thing that you will be trying in Scrintal? So if you are part of the community already, let us know in there so that we can just chat and exchange some
Mhm.
experiences. And if you're not yet, again, if you want to just give a try, there's an option of like try it for several days and play a little bit and let us know as well as part of the community. So I just ask you to hop in there and let's continue the conversation
Yeah,
inside of the Scrintal
exactly.
community.
Exactly. Thank you very much, everyone, for joining. This session is recorded, so you will be able to watch it later. And as Bianca said, let's continue the conversation. Thank